killed. Give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So then you said that they put millions of monitors. Yes, you said. Should he steal? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the brutal show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. See just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. 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 Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in his dress, she a bombshell. Just is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Block fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was designed fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Perfect, 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 perfect.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
No affiliation, why they faking? This ain't for debating. We the real, they really imitation.
at that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up, It's all about that warfare, boy. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem? Tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour pass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race to make merchandise, how to buy bills. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas start to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth, nigga. Cool yo. Go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground. Back up. Give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay dearly. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, with a true sin, hey, with warriors dwell. Be wise with them weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know 2 things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my aunt, I'm gon' meet the doctor. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die, so you can miss me with that love talk. My U.P.K soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that means? Fall on his age. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Lonely one west. Say what? Lonely one west. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for. Go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground. Back up. Give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down, boy.
Clap it up. All right, welcome to I.S.U.P.K, the conflict zone. Welcome to the conflict zone. Another episode of the conflict zone. This is what I think episode 22, where we'll be looking at, you know what we're looking at this week? Battlefield Caribbean, CIA intervention in the Caribbean. The CIA did an intervention kind of intervention, I call it. Why is that economic intervention in the Caribbean in the 1970s, right? And, well, it was 3 countries in the Caribbean that they did it. Jamaica, Grenada. Let's see if we can remember the other one. Jamaica, Grenada, and Guyana. This was a time when the Caribbean, right? CIA intervention is actually CIA destabilization. CIA's destabilization in the Caribbean, actually. Right? The CIA did some covert operation to destabilize a government. One, it looked like it was also a training ground for them because their program was so successful that, writers, the various CIA writers believe that the same model was copied and replicated elsewhere in the world. Well, can't be surprised if that's the case. But the real thing is that we in the Caribbean, Shalom Adolphus last. The real thing is that we here in the Caribbean is left to pick up the pieces, right? We are left to pick up the pieces of trying to. We got destabilized. We are trying to restabilize, and in trying to restabilize, I mean we have some IMF debt, and because CIA coming to your country, they work with the IMF. The thing is, whatever they do in your country, there's a tab to be picked up after them finish and gone. Yeah, man, somebody's left with a tab. But I think that it is a free thing. That's why like Ukraine and Israel, they have those monies to pay back. All right, so like I said, looking at that, one look at that and look at Jamaica in particular. All right, so the CIA intervention, this one. Share this instead. Bam. Bam. Covert action. This says covert action information bulletin. Destabilization in the Caribbean. All right. So before we read that part of the destabilization in the Caribbean, I'm going to read this part up top. It says, approved for release 2010-06-09. So I think it's the 9th of the 6th month, which is what, June 2010. All right. This was a paper that was printed, CIA manual on deep cover. Exclusive in the issue, CIA manual on deep cover. Now, this one was for sale at the time in 1980 for $2. Obviously, they are the papers that they put out. Obviously, it was not available in Jamaica either. And then it was not, these don't look like it's overt paper. These look like it's covert information because it wasn't released until 2010. And yet still it was written from 1980. Covert Action Information Bulletin, Destabilization in the Caribbean. Morris Bishop of Grenada, Walter Rodney of Guyana, and Michael Manley of Jamaica. All right. We have an editorial. This is the largest issue of the Covert Action Information Bulletin ever published. Reading the editorial. with some of the most interesting and informative material we have ever brought to our readers. At the same time, for a reason which may be familiar to friends, we are somewhat behind schedule. Several recent events have unfortunately diverted our energies. Scroll down. Jamaica. The comprehensive article in this issue, massive, remember this part, massive destabilization in Jamaica, covers fully the activities on that island which led to our on-the-scene investigation, culminating in a press conference at which we divulged the names of 15 CIA people. I think Sunday we read that. When them then called a press conference, they invited the Jamaica Gleaner. The Jamaica Gleaner did not send anybody to represent them, but went on after and published a paper, published an article that CIA intervention in Jamaica rubbish. They're using newspaper to deny it. It's rubbish, nothing about it. Well, here's another paper now, again from the CIA, which they well, it's not the CIA themselves, some agents, these persons who, all right, probably they retire and start doing these things. Just like we have some men in the army who retire and then come back now and wherever the army go for, especially like the U.S. Army, whenever they go out for the military work, you have a lot of these ex-soldiers who come with them doing commerce. So probably this is one of the case. Ex-CIA man who using skill, investigative skill, right, and find some information and some things that is happening. But the CIA itself didn't deny it. It's just that some people in Jamaica denied it. Culminating in a press conference at which we divulged the names of 15 CIA people in the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, as we have named names for several years and done complete analysis of individual stations before as well. For example, room 705 U.S. Embassy, the CIA station in Madrid. Madrid was a Spain. In CAIB number 4. We were not prepared for the incredible scenario which followed. 2 days after the press conference, when we had all left the island, that is Jamaica, reports appeared that there had been a shooting and a bombing at the home of the man we had named as Chief of Station, N. Richards Kinsman. We read about him Sunday gone. There's another article here by the CIA. This one now comes right into Jamaica. San Francisco Sun reporter, 17th of July, 1980. Sanitized copy approved for release 2010 of the 7th, 14th of the 7th, 14th of July 2010. After happened 1980, 1990, 2000. 30 years after them released the information. All right. And this one, which we read Sunday, here now them read. Yeah, they mentioned Kinsman in this one. So doing some cross-check with this article. Shortly after our Kinsman was listed, CIA Chief for Jamaica, his home at 1 Carmel Avenue in the fashionable Cherry Gardens district was bombed. All right, so go back to the next article now. So that's true. Oh, here it is. All right, so I'm going to read this other article now, which show you now, doing the cross check, what him said. Shortly after our kinsman, reading from the third column on your right to the right, starting from the left, 1, 2, 3, and the paragraph. Shortly after our kinsman was listed, CIA chief for Jamaica, his home at 1 Carmel Avenue in the fashionable Cherry Gardens district was bombed. All right. So let's go back to this one. We talk about R. Kinsman, which is N. Richard Kinsman. Initial reports was replete with inaccuracies, and as we discovered, the attack was questionable to say the least. The first inaccuracy was the report that the incident occurred 2 days after Kinsman had been exposed. He was, in fact, exposed in CAIB number 6 on October 1979. An exposure which was well covered in the Jamaican media at the time. Initial reports also expressed relief that the bullets missed Kinsman, his wife, and daughters. It then developed that the wife and children were not home that night, and subsequently investigators expressed some doubt that Kinsman himself was at home. Reports also circulated that the bullets had whistled through one of the bedrooms of the house. As the photograph we produce here shows. However, the bullet holes were in the side of a concrete wall by the house garage. All right, so this is going a little more. So this now is the paper. Okay, here is the picture. The part of the house which was shut up, let's say. Bullet marks on wall of Kinsman garage. All right, going down to the content. So that's the editorial. Then overview the Caribbean massive destabilization in Jamaica, Guyana. The faces behind the mask. Research bombing in Grenada. Strange activities on Antigua. The elections in Dominica. So you see, they were right across the Caribbean. Cuban exiles and refugee book review. The spike. Special supplement. The principles of deep cover. Naming names, publications of interest. All right, so we're going to go to overview the Caribbean. And then we're going to destabilization in Jamaica. Covert action. 2. Combination that into editorial. We were and are convinced that the incident was a phony. It may never be proved that the CIA staged the incident. All right, so people are saying it was the same incident because the man was exposed. Is them same one stage the shoot up. Make it look like because he was exposed, he came under attack. The Kinsman incident, blah blah blah. Intelligence Identity Protection Act. All right, the Caribbean. An overview. Here it starts. Does it start over here to my right? No. It starts right here to my, yes, to my right, not left. All right, the Caribbean. Rum and reggae rhythms, calypso and coke. Not talking about cocaine, talking about Coca-Cola. Beaches and bongo drums. Hot sun and hedonism. Hedonism famous from them time. By now, the average North American is already familiar with these standard depiction of the Caribbean reality. Unfortunately, however, life for the overwhelming majority of Caribbean people is far from pleasureful. These nativistic tropical paradise images are more figments of a tourist's imagination than true reflections of the day-to-day rigors of human survival in these poor, underdeveloped third world societies. This misperception also been pervasive among US government officials, then the Caribbean patriots who are merely seeking to rearrange their societies to provide basic human needs for their people would not be faced with the degree of US engineered intrigue and sabotage against their respective efforts that we are witnessing today. You see what happened? You know, they wanted the Caribbean to be the playground for the white man who want to invest some money, you know, make, probably invest some dirty money or whichever way. But sorry, still make money out of free labor. And that's what it boiled down to. It all boiled down to getting your labor for free. You know, the amount of things to cover in this Caribbean thing. I probably have to do an next part next week again. The real Caribbean realities are very much on the minds of those who formulate US policy for the region. Recent political changes in Grenada and Nicaragua, the social leanings of the People's National Party of Jamaica, the potential for radical social change in El Salvador. I mean, look at these countries now. Right now, El Salvador is one of the poorest South, is it South? Well, Latin America. One of the poorest Latin American countries, El Salvador. So these leaders from back then in the 70s had realized the economic plight that they were in, and they realized who was pushing these oppression on them. They weren't pushing back with guns. What they were doing is reformulating their government by the ballot. And this was what the Americans undermined. El Salvador and Guyana and the success of the Cuban Revolution are all studied and perceived in Washington as threats to the national security of the United States of America, and the US reaction to these changes has been swift and vicious. Swift and vicious, sometimes naked and ugly, as in Guyana, beginning with the CIA toppling of the Jagan government, the installation of the Burnham regime, up to the recent assassination of Dr. Walter Rodney in Cuba, with the permanent plot of assassination, economic strangulation, the political destabilization, against the government, and recently in Grenada with the attempted assassination of that country's entire leadership. So what was the argument? What was the reason for what took place in Jamaica? Let me see if they put it in this article. We can switch to the other article and find the reason. At times, U.S. reaction has been much less overt, which means that they are more covert, more sinister, as in the CIA protracted campaign of destabilization against the government of Jamaica's Michael Manley. The application of this strategy of new diplomacy, that is, deploying a younger, more hip, more physically attractive corps of diplomats to the region, offering liberal sums of money and special training programs to trade union leaders from the region, or acts of economic destabilization via U.S. based or U.S. controlled transnational lending institutions. Ooh. Let me see if the name the IMF. Transnational lending institutions such as the U.S. Agency for International Development, the International Monetary Fund, ooh, that is USAID, you know, USAID, United States Agency for International Development, still out here, IMF and Caribbean Development Bank, and so on. So they use these institutions to push their agenda. Basically, that's what they're telling you. You know, my people is wanting to tell you now. Christ is the answer. You know, Moses is going to push them to war. Is war going to free you? Why such hysteria in Washington? The reaction of the U.S. and other North Atlantic governments to progressive changes in the Caribbean, changes which take some of these states onto a path of non-capitalist development, could perhaps be explained on two levels. All right, so they use IMF and so on. So, but what was it that led them? They were in Jamaica. They were not in Barbados. They were not in Trinidad. So why they came to Jamaica? All right, well, let's switch to the other article now, which can I explain to you why they came to Jamaica. So we can't find it. Because what the other article had said was that this came about because the middle class, the Jamaican middle class, and investors had complained to America about the various social implementations, economic implementations, which were becoming a problem to them. All right, I'm going to search for this. There's a video where Michael said, all we want is to give the people, you have one whole pie, you're giving the people one slice sharing for the whole population. All I'm saying is, give them two. We're not asking if we're half of the pie. We're not trying to take the whole pie. All right. So, I talk about Kinsman, who was the head of the operation out here, and he was named. All right, here it is. Third paragraph, right here. Right here. The Liberal People's National Party has instituted social reforms which have irritated the middle class and worried investors. So it's the middle class and the investors who went to the Americans. And after this, now he names some more names of CIA persons. Okay, here it is. Forgot to put it on this screen. So here it is now where so now the Liberal People's National Party has instituted social reforms which have irritated the middle class and worried investors. That was the bottom line of it. So, in other words, that is not saying the People's National Party was going communist. The article, there's no mention of no communism in the article. So, what had angered the government in the United States, or the friends of the government that were operating out here, operating businesses and so on, just like they have in Haiti. The bottom line is, the bottom line was slavery. They were trying to modernize slavery. And trust me, in the time World War II kick out or kick off openly, World War II is actually covert fighting. But they can't go hide with it anymore. Then it soon have to come all the way out. When it comes out, then you're gonna know. You see, if they have their way, it's perpetual slavery. So what? Is it that I'm the only one? Is it that I.S.U.P.K Jamaica is the only one talking about this? Basically, what we're doing is showing our people, because we know that, by we working for Christ to return. When Christ return, all this will be swept away. But our people not waking up enough for Christ to return. We are all asleep. So all these covert operations happening in Jamaica, and it was on the wraps all the way till 2010. CIA released nothing. 30 years. All right. Then, now that Jamaica is slated to be a republic, we don't have the backing of. Obviously, England was a part of this. But when you claim that you become a republic now, I mean, is it the same persons who are in government going to lead us into a republic? Hypocrisy, man. Is it the same hypocrisy that we're going to have to deal with? Personally, I hope not. I personally hope that's not the case. All right, so we have to touch some scriptures, Proverbs 3 and 31. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3 and 31. Envy now not the oppressor, choose none of his ways. All right, so we looking at them kind of oppressor and not with an eye of envy, but it's more an eye of disgust, of, we trying to pick up the broken pieces for our people to survive since slavery. And we have been met with nothing but, what's the word? Can I say disdain? Disdain again. Because, our people just so destroyed. Our people are so destroyed. They don't even, they don't even see these are open conflicts against us, as a people. It's not. This is not an open conflict against Jamaica as an island. This is an open conflict on blacks. The Chinese never feel any of this, which is why it those of you who like to not research and then use word like, look at the Chinese. The Chinese never. These were happening, but it wasn't affecting them, in the sense that, well, many of them flee from Jamaica out of fear. I kind of understand. I mean, they were running from communism in China. As older people say, snake bite you, say lizard run. So they say these changes now, they think that, it's communist, it's them Chinese that do it. But it was no communist. Communism no works. All the government was doing was trying to, and this government, the one before it, and a couple other administrations before it, always talk about poverty alleviation. It's basically the same thing that the government was trying to do in the 70s, when they talk about self-reliance and all kind of thing. They were trying to alleviate poverty. But those who had money, they were upset, because it's like, now you're going to have people having what we have. All the people want this freedom. Those of you who call yourselves the haves, some of you come from nothing, which is why, it hurts me so much to see many of you come from nothing, and then you come and fight the man who is coming from nothing and trying to achieve something. So much to the point that you use bureaucracy. Because many of you get jobs in government. You use your angle of power in the government to fight against the poor, to put policies deliberately that looks like it's helping the poor when it is squeezing the poor. Yeah. IMF never really give no policy to help poor people. All the IMF policies, them turn out into some serious backlash for Jamaica. Right? Back then in the 70s, the government, there was a lot of things that was government owned. Actually, everything alone, everything is privately owned. Can you really have a country with everything being privately owned? It means then that you know, the consumer, you definitely going to have to pay for everything. So if you're paying taxes, there must be something that you can get from the taxes, right? So I'm going to see if we can touch back something on the article about the other Caribbean islands. Go to top the page. Maurice Bishop of Grenada. Oh, not that. Content. Bishop's bombing in Grenada. That was Maurice Bishop. Was there. The one for Jamaica there. Page 7. Massive destabilization in Jamaica. 1976 with a new twist by Ellen Ray and Bill Sharp. In many other countries, somebody was with. Let me blow up this thing. Massive destabilization in Jamaica. In most other countries, our ministers, Minister of State, party commanders, heads of statutory boards, among others, would now be in forced exile or buried in common graves. Read this again. In many other countries, somebody with a disciplined force of men behind him would have long ago taken the government away from them. Okay, in most third world countries, our ministers, okay, most of them people are dead. A seditious statement, to be sure, but this quotation is not taken from a clandestine pamphlet circulating the back alleys of a sleepy capital in some banana republic. It is part of a daily fare of one of the many CIA-inspired provocateurs writing for the Jamaica Gleaner, urging the elimination of the constitutionally elected government of Prime Minister Michael Manley and his People's National Party. No, this is the thing. You put democracy and the people vote in a leader, and then you try to kick him out, you try to get him out because he's not doing what you want him to do. So that's not democracy. Although the Gleaner was unabashedly and fawningly supports the right-wing opposition. Okay. So the Gleaner was unabashedly and fawningly supports the right-wing opposition Jamaica Labour Party. Okay, so that's why they are denying that CIA intervention was happening, led by CIA government. Recent editorials and commentaries have not been aimed at encouraging Jamaicans to vote for the opposition in elections scheduled for early October. The bitter diatribes are deliberately directed towards creating disaffection and mutiny within the security forces openly encouraging the overthrow of the government. All right, so you see, that is why they had kept this as the information that the CIA have. They had kept it as, what's the word they use again? These are classified, right? They have kept it classified all the way to 2010. 30 years in the making. One, Jimmy Carter was close friend with Michael Manley, and yet still was able to look Michael Manley in the eyes and tell him a blatant lie. No, the CIA is not operating out here. You know, everything comes out 30 years later. All right. I read two more scriptures and then we call it a day, a night, because we're gonna do some more again next week. This is not a one class thing or one podcast thing. Because the thing is, we are today left with the baggage. Some different murders. I don't know if it is in this one, but this article, but one of the things that they did in order to destabilize the government was to teach the opposition at the time some terrorists, give them some terrorist training, which is, how you scout out this countryside, find the people of the party that is opposing to you and kill them. One of the other thing was to kill, I think it was 30 people at the eventide. Boom. You have to look on the most nice people as if, I don't know nobody them, man. It's old people. Ooh, guess what? You all are getting old too. All right, so two more scriptures and then we just close out. E- all right. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. What does Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10 say? All right, I'm going to find that. Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus is in the Apocrypha. All right, Book of Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So, many of our people out here went and gave their service to the beast by carrying out that the U.S. government, the oppressor, to carry out these operations back then. Not my word. It's the same CIA that released these papers after a while. I mean, you and them come together and do something. Until now, you don't hear it on the Jamaican side. But the person who did it, yeah, sure, they released the informations. So here you are 30 years later, and you need to pick up the pieces now. So that's what, 14 years ago they released it. Wow. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10, that was. Alright, next scripture now is Revelation 18 and 6. Forgive me, I have a little throat problem caused by dust. Book of Revelation coming. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 6. Book of Revelation chapter 18 verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. The cup which she hath filled to her double. So the Most High is telling his people, this wicked Babylon who did do all these things. When the time come and you get the upper hand of him or her, you are to double it. But that's what Christ will be doing. Double the punishment. I mean, right now, many sections of Jamaica is under curfew because of crime. The same kind of crime that they brought out here, which is murder. The oppressor is the number one murderer still. That's what he teaches the other nation. That's what war is about. Killing. But anyways, that's it for this week. The conflict zone, where we're deciphering the conflicts faced by the people of the Most High, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in this world. Yeah, we are deciphering the conflicts. And here we're looking at it, the Caribbean perspective. We're looking at it from that level. We're coming down in. As a matter of fact, in the conflict zone, we had to look at things like, how they fight against even street side vending. Right? It's the same way the Chinese began, street side vending, Same way them started. But they were allowed to grow. Or people not allowed to grow. All right, so that's it. Another week of the conflict zone. We ask that you subscribe to our channel, I.S.U.P.K Jamaica, or you can find us on Facebook, I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. We ask you to subscribe, we ask you to pay your tithes. Yes, I.S.U.P.K. Go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithes, so we can continue the work of awakening the Most High's people, blacks, Hispanics, and natives, who are the Israelites of the Bible. All right, so once again, getting out of air, I want to leave you with a song. All right, so until next week, we're going to say Shalom. Yabashim Yashabakata. Yabashim Yashabakatam. Shalom.
For Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get ground, back up, get ground, back up, get ground. Take ground, take ground, take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem, tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour plays. You can either get with it or get flipped like a hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race to make merchandise out of my abuse. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas start to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take round, take round, take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth. Nigga, cool y'all. Go to grab, 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 go to grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give grab, give grab, give grab, back up, give grab, give grab, give grab, back up, give grab, give grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grab, 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 take grab. My soldiers take grab till them stand down. Take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab. My soldiers take grab till them stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay dearly. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, with a true sit, hey, with warriors dwell. Be wise with the weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know 2 days, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my uncle gon' meet the doc. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My U.P.K soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that means? Fall on his age. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Long live one West. Say what? Long live one West. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for. Go to grab, 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 go to grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give grab, give grab, give grab, back up, give grab, give grab, give grab, back up, give grab, give grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grab, 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 take grab. My soldiers take grab till them stand down. Take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab. My soldiers take grab till them stand down.
Yeah, those are messed up, no. Bad news.